everyone, here's what we're gonna do in this video. We're gonna go and find a place where I can do the biggest photo stitch I've ever done. So I'm trying to do like 4, maybe to 450 megapixels. I don't even know. We're gonna try to do one. I was inspired by the other day I did a photo stitch from photos from the X-T4 that I got up to like 260 megapixels. And I thought that's pretty cool. But what kind of crazy damage could I do with the GFX system? Because I could do some really crazy stuff with that thing, and I could probably melt my computer maybe. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So we're gonna go to a couple of places. The first stop is the Veliska Axe Murder House, where I've never been, and we're just gonna see what it looks like because it's on the way. And then we'll do a little tutorial on how I do photo stitching, and then you could tell me how wrong I am because I don't know any other way to do it. So let's go do it. We're headed over to Veliska, Iowa, and these poor people of Veliska, they have a town, who knows how long that town has been there, but they have to be known as the place where the axe murder happened. And literally there's a house that's called the Veliska Axe Murder House, and that's, unfortunately, that's what they're kind of known for. So I was wandering around Veliska. I didn't know Veliska like I didn't know how big it was, so I was just wandering around and I had to look it up, and I found the Veliska Axe Murder House, and there's no E on the axe, so I'm not sure why that is. It's actually a really beautiful house. It'd be great to live here, but in 1912 3 people were killed overnight and they never found out who did it, and I guess that becomes the biggest thing that's ever happened in your town when they can't find the murderer. It's kind of crazy, but it's a beautiful little house. Try to make this house look a little scary and ominous, even though it's super bright and pretty. Two things about this place. I'm trying to figure out, I went to the website to try to figure out why there's no E on the word axe. And maybe I just don't know like how to spell axe, but they have it spelled multiple ways on the website. AX and then AXE. I have no idea what the difference is. Maybe some of you know. And also they say it's haunted. Now, I don't really believe in ghosts. I wish they were real and I would love it. Like, I've been in a lot of abandoned places and places where people are like, you need to go there, and if you go inside you'll hear something or something like that. And that just never happened to me. So hopefully someday I'll be able to get some kind of paranormal experience and I'll come back and be like, I believe in ghosts, but I doubt that'll happen unless it's like Ghostbusters and somebody comes and slimes me or something like that, because it's just hard for me to believe that stuff. So anyways, off to the next stop. We're gonna go to another abandoned place, an abandoned school, I think, a big old brick building, and see what we find there. Just a few minutes from Veliska. It's Nottoway, Iowa, and I'm looking for that abandoned school. I found it. So this is a pretty awesome spot. It's got this old car in front of it, and the light is super harsh, but oh well. We're gonna get a couple shots. I'll do a stitch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock my white balance and I'll lock my focus on the school, and I'll get a bottom row of photos and then a top row of photos, and then we'll put them all together. So I'll kind of go down at the bottom this way, and then I'll go that way. If I had cooler clouds, it'd be way cooler, but oh well. You know, I got a couple shots and I'll see how the stitch looks, what the heck, but I think it's gonna be an amazing place to come back to when the golden hour is out at night, and it's gonna be just really putting some good light. That car is gonna look amazing. And this school is on the top of a hill and it looks pretty awesome. It's gonna look great with a cool sky and then golden hour. So that's gonna be another video, I'm sure. Okay, I found a really cool scene behind me. I was just driving on the highway and I looked to the right and I saw this, which is pretty sweet. So what I'm gonna do is, once again, get a stitch. I'm gonna start at the bottom row like this, and then I'm gonna go to the top and go like that. And my main goal is to keep the focus in kind of the same plane, and then also just make sure that each shot has a reference point so it could Lightroom or whatever I use later on, I could actually see how to stitch it together. And then just a quick word on settings is I'm at F10, F11 or so, F11, and my critical plane of focus is that body of water right there. I think you could see it, right? Where's it at? I'm not used to that. It's right there. So that's my critical plane of focus. And I wish the sky was amazing, because this would be like an epic shot if the sky was amazing. But I also think this is a candidate to go in and do a sky replacement. And I know the sky replacement will have the same resolution, but I think I could like cheat it a little bit by blurring the sky just a touch, and then like up-resing the sky, whatever I use. So let's we'll give it a shot. I think that's gonna go well with my new kind of portfolio. I'm looking at trying to get extra large photos. A road like that with the water and the landscape, it's gonna be sweet. It's a beautiful sight, but I'm really kind of pissed because the last time I was out here, the door was there, and the door was part of the experience. It looked like somebody's tried to break into there and they broke the door down. It makes me mad. We're gonna do one more stitch with this road going down that way. We got some panoramic stitching done. Got some cool photos, I think, I hope. Let's go back and I'll show you how I put together those in Lightroom and see how the stitches come out. All right, everybody, we're back. We put the images onto the computer. The giant files are crazy, so I might be doing some editing since I already did a little bit of testing the other day with the GFX 100, and the files were like, it was the first time my computer struggled. I have a new 16-inch M1 Mac, but I probably should have got 32 gigs just because of these. So I might be getting a new computer soon, so we'll see. But let's dive in and check out the photos, and I'll show you how I do my stitching. Here's the Axe Murder House. You can see that AX Murder House, and it's just a beautiful little house. It's gorgeous. And that was these were shot with the 50S, and I was trying to zoom in to see if I could find some apparitions or something, and I can't. I just find these insanely detailed windows that have like a little bit of dirt on them. Crazy. I said that in one of the videos earlier. I said that I was gonna try to make it look a little creepy, and first I could just kind of even it. Let's work on this a little bit. So I'll get to the stitching a little bit. That, and then let's change it from Nostalgia Nig to let's do Adobe Monochrome. That's not creepy yet, but it's getting there a little bit, right? Then I'm gonna go to the black and white mix, and we're gonna darken that blue sky. One of the things I really like about the X100 and the GFX 150 is so far the files seem like they're able to take a ton of color adjustments without getting crazy. Sometimes you get, the more adjustments you do to the color, you get some artifacts and some banding and some weird stuff happening, right? And I have not seen that almost at all lately, so that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna darken that sky. I'll make it look black. Now it's getting a little creepier, right? Is that too black? That's pretty sweet. And from there, I'm going to add some grain. Where's that at? That's in effects. Gosh, you can't even see the grain. There it is. And then we're going to darken the corners. That still doesn't look scary at all. I don't know if I'm going to make this thing look scary. Darken the highlights a little bit. That's scarier, but it's mostly just dark. So I think this one, it's just like a happy looking house. I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of like a cinematic version. What about that? Let's see. Oh my gosh. That's not bad, right? Especially when you see murder on the sign. Murder is always kind of scary. So we'll just skip some of those. This is with the 100 just to kind of test it out. Look at the light is terrible. I know that. I looked outside the window right now and the golden light's out there and the sky is actually cloudy. It'd be perfect for the spot, but I had to come home and cook dinner, and that's okay. I'm testing out my equipment still. So this Studebaker, I think, it's a Studebaker, is awesome sitting in front of this place. So I'm going to definitely have to come back sometime. And yeah, a lot of resolution there. We're zooming in quite a bit. That's pretty sweet. Gosh dang. This is where I did my first stitch. So what I'm doing. Remember, what I'm doing in each shot is I'm trying to make sure I have something for the next shot to grab onto. And so I have that one, and then I have that one, and it's this fence right there, that spot, that Adobe or whatever software you're using can grab onto. And I'm going to the right. This is my bottom row, a little bit of the field up, and I'm moving left. And that's the do that one. That's my first stitch. So we're gonna grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to go to, where's it at? I'm used to Lightroom, but since I'm going to be keeping these on a hard drive instead of already syncing to the cloud now, I'm going to be using Lightroom Classic a little bit more. So we're gonna go to Photo Merge, Panorama, and there should be a preview. There we go. These are about 100 megabyte files. I am doing compressed. I'm not doing the full uncompressed. Those are like 200. So I'm doing compressed, and they're like 100 and something, which is way better. But it takes a little longer to do stuff. So let's come back when the preview's done. And we're back. So it took like 30 seconds. That's not too bad. I'm getting some warp right there, but everything else looks really good. It looks solid. My cat is upset with me, and we'll create a stack that'll take those 9 images and make one stack with the panorama at the top. At least it should. And then I'm gonna go to merge. That took about 8 minutes for one panorama, and every time I tried to do something else, I got the little beautiful, colorful spinning wheel of death for Mac. But here's the panorama version, and it looks, pretty awesome as far as resolution goes. I know it's not the best photo. I have way too much foreground, so I that's not good. But when I zoom in and look at that amount of detail that is loading up, it is awesome. And you can meet Cupcake, the kitty. Watch out, Cupcake. Okay, it's still loading that detail. I'm going to need a new computer now. This is absolutely crazy. Holy cow. I guess that's what 100 megapixels will do. And here we are zoomed in finally. And that is stunning. When you look at the tiny section of this that I'm zoomed into, it's pretty wild. Well, that's way back there. And, oh, that's really close. You can see all that detail on the windows. Holy cow, it's cool. Let's see if we can see inside the building. One of the things about the GFX files is the dynamic range is crazy. And so if I just go nuts, oh my gosh. So in full sun, that inside that building is pretty dark. We can see inside of that schoolhouse. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's look at some of the other photos we took. By the way, this is 25,000. Let's see, what is it? 25,500 by 16,300 resolution, which is right around 400 megapixels, I think. So the first stitch, we have 400 megapixels. It's a bad 400 megapixels, though. I'm about to get rid of all this crap at the bottom. And plus, guys, I'm testing things out. This is definitely not a candidate for something that I'm going to be selling on extra large art. There's not a lot of audience for old, decrepit schoolhouses. There's a little bit of an audience, but not a lot, even remotely. So this is just purely testing things out. Let's go to the next stitch. This is the one that kind of got me excited. So I did a bottom row, and then I did a top row. And I'm going to do the stitch real quick. We'll look at the preview, and it'll be a little choppy because I'm going to pause for the massive amount of processing happening and the nuclear meltdown happening within my computer. We're back after several excruciating minutes. I had to shut everything down on my computer, but Photoshop actually was able to get in there and stitch it. So this is not a perfect stitch, but it's kind of cool. I can do a better job next time. I can fix the power lines in Photoshop later on. That's something that's doable, but this is not bad at all. When you look at what we're dealing with, and the amount of resolution, I don't even know what the resolution is. Image size, that's over here. It's a 2 gigabyte file, 32,000 by 20,000. So that's like almost 600. Once I crop, that's gonna be like a 600 megapixel image, which is just nuts. So if we go ahead and we crop this kind of appropriately, and we could do content aware fill later if we wanted to, and something like that. Oh gosh, it's gonna take a long time to crop. I shouldn't have cropped. I need a new computer. Ah! I can fix that stuff later, but let's go ahead and see what kind of resolution we have when we zoom in and how far we can go. We can go all the way, that's 100%, to those cows in the back, and that is pretty awesome. That stitch is really amazing too, except for the power lines that threw it off, but everything else looks pretty good. You could see some, is that weirdness? I don't even know. It looks great. That is stunning. The amount of detail that's in this is insane. And I guess I better be. But I can zoom right into that. Ah! That is incredible. I'm just going to have to go and fix the power lines. And I have a 600 megapixel image. So we have already attained our goals. We've already attained 400 and 600 megapixels. So that's cool. So let's jump back to Lightroom and check out some of the other images. Instead of showing you the process of all the photos doing this, I'm going to go in and do them individually, and let's just see the results afterwards. All right, people, we're about an hour later. I've processed a couple images, and I think they're pretty cool. And here's the golf school, it's called. And I was pretty upset because somebody broke the door in. You can see right there. But look at that detail. That's wild. You get right in there. That's pretty amazing. And you can see my car. There, hello. That's kind of crazy that you could probably see my license plate. That's wild. Next one, from the other side, looking down that way, is pretty cool. You know, these aren't perfect stitches. I could fix a lot of this stuff. There's a little curvature over here that I don't like, but they're pretty amazing when you look at them. The detail is just sick. That is just nuts. And let's see, can we see inside? Look, you can see inside of there. The dynamic range is incredible. It is unbelievable, actually. Holy cow. Where was I? Right around there. With a different sky, that thing would be cool. This is one that I didn't really video, but this one was pretty neat. Little community house or something like that. A community place. It's loading. Holy cow, these files are giant. I'm talking each one of these is around, this one's like 320, and the other ones range between 400 and 600 megapixels. So we have resolution forever, and my computer is still rendering this. Now it's spinning wheels. Are we going to get it? There we go. We have detail now. That's wild. That's just wild. Look at that, guys. That's insane. I have one more of a house. This is 10 pictures. And like I said, these are not my best images ever. If I had a cool sky, these images would be pretty sweet, pretty fun. But I'm mostly just testing this stuff out and looking at what we can do with this. And just me knowing that I am going to have these kind of problems when I'm editing. My cat's sad too. Means I'm gonna have to probably get a new computer. But wow, that's an amazing, incredible amount of detail. Holy smokes. So let's go ahead and take one of these images. Which one? That one? I don't like that one as much. I like that one. I'm going to take that into Photoshop, and we're going to check out how we can do a new sky and see if I can even do it with that much resolution. Now that we're moved over here to Photoshop, we're going to look about replacing the sky. And it might be a little bit of a challenge because I've never tried to do that with a file this large. And we've got some trees that are kind of tough here with the color kind of going from a darker blue to you know, more bright. So I know that one of the first things I'm going to need to do is open up Gigapixel, and we are going to have to open up a sky that I picked out. And let's go ahead. We're going to make this thing big. And those are those Fuji wiggles, aren't they? We can get rid of most of them. That's good. We're going to save it. It's going to process this. It's going to make it way bigger. I did the 4 times, and just to see if this is even like doable, right? We're going to check this out. Done. So let's go ahead and go to the sky replacement tool in Photoshop. Let's just edit sky replacement, and we're going to wait for it to load. Oh, because it automatically tries to load a photo up. I did a decent job, but that's a low resolution one. We want to throw in one that we did ourselves. So I'm going to go to the desktop. Let's see, we'll pick that giant one. And now we're going to see what happens. Creating new sky preset of the giant. There we go. We're going to do that one. And is it doing it? What is happening? Oh, I got to select it. That one. Holy cow. We got some problems to work out. Not bad problems, though. Let's see, what should we do here? I don't remember how to use this. I haven't used sky replacement for a while. Oh my gosh, there we go. That's better at the bottom. Makes it look a little bit more natural. And then we want to not do the foreground lighting. That looks pretty sweet. That looks awesome. That doesn't look too bad at all. What's going to happen is it's going to make a new layer. And I could go to that layer. I can move the sky around if I wanted to. I kind of wanted to see about keeping the sun up there. I'm sorry about my cat. My cat is losing his mind. That looks pretty good. Wow. Okay, this is possible. This is possible to do this and to do it on the high resolution images. That looks pretty awesome. You know, it's going to be a little bit grainy compared to that, so I still have some denoising to do and some work to do on this. Because you don't want the sky to be grainy and everything else to not be grainy. But this is still pretty amazing. Not too shabby. And I'd have to fix some of this. You can see some of the ghosting. You can go in and you can adjust the masking a little bit. But that looks pretty epic. So I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that this was a little bit discombobulated, but I'm dealing with brand new stuff here that I've never dealt with. So maybe you learned something from me. Maybe not. Let me know how I'm doing. Tell me what I can do next to do these videos better, and we'll see you later.